Welcome back, ladies and gentlemen, to the League Cup here at Oviedo, Florida in Versus Games. We have gone through 4 rounds of Incredible Swiss. We got 2 rounds left to Deeth.
This is, yeah, I mean, it's exciting.
I'm at a loss right now, dude. Like, we have some of the best trainers right now. Only 3 are still undefeated.
I know, it's insane. That just shows how competitive this
just how exactly. Florida locals are.
Right.
Like, this is the largest local in Florida for a reason.
Yeah, I'm really excited to see how this next game shapes up. We have 2 really strong trainers coming up for you, and I'm really excited for everybody to see. And we can see it on the screen. We have Austin Liftowski versus Kerry D. Ortona.
And, well, I think, hold on, that Kerry person, he sounds familiar. Why does he sound familiar to me? It's a mystery.
He's Florida's Wonder Kid.
Yeah, he is definitely Florida's Wonder Kid right now. He has been on an absolute tear ever since he started going to locals. He started going to locals in Orlando at off of OBT at Cool Stuff Games. He started going there. He was top cutting over there. He was cutting locals in the Tampa area. He goes to Baltimore. He cuts Baltimore, or I think he barely missed cut at Baltimore.
No, Louisville.
No,
he got top 8 at Louisville.
No, he got top 8 at Louisville, and then he cut Toronto.
Right.
And, like, he's just on a tear, and I believe he's going to San Antonio next weekend.
Yeah, it's going to be really exciting to see. He's been a force to be reckoned with. Austin Liftowski, on the other hand, he's no slouch either. He got day 2 at Indy Regionals using Kyogre. So we might see the rain again.
Wait, we're gonna see the rain again? I thought Florida doesn't. Why does Florida need rain?
I mean,
why can't we get snow? Well, why can't we get snow? Why do we need rain?
Well, we aren't in Atlanta, unfortunately. We aren't in Georgia.
Whoa. Let's not. I mean, look, Florida is a good state, but Atlanta is my city. Atlanta's my city.
I mean, I'm trying to move there, to be honest.
Hey, in all fairness, Atlanta's a good city, but I think I speak for all of Georgia when I say this. We complain about I-4 traffic. I-85 is worse.
Okay, so we have the trainers on our screen right now. We have Austin Liftowski using that Archaludon Amoonguss.
Ooh, Archaludon.
I thought we left it in Reg H. I guess not. We can see if the teams are up yet. But 2 friends getting to play each other. We love the camaraderie. We love how locked in everybody is. We're just excited for a good match, and we can see the teams on our screen. Archaludon, Amoonguss, Urshifu Rapid Strike, Tianpao, Kyogre, and Dragonite. So we see a interesting take on Kyogre. We see Dragonite again.
We see the Dragonite Tianpao once again, but again, seeing Kyogre, Kyogre, I don't think we've seen on stream yet.
Oh, no, we haven't. But Kyogre has been ramping up in some of the events coming up. It will be interesting to see if it does well in San Antonio.
And meanwhile, the Wunder Kid, Kerry D. Ortona here. We're looking at his team. That's a Shadow Rider again.
Yes, it's one of the strongest Pokemon for a reason.
And also, I mean, Kerry is known for using Calyrex Shadow Rider. He has been the proponent of Calyrex Shadow Rider in the Florida VGC.
Right. Fun fact about Kerry, when he went to Indy Regionals, he got top 32 and was the best placing Calyrex Shadow Rider.
And that's where I think people started to take notice of him, was Indy with that Calyrex Shadow Rider. But he rounds it out with the Rillaboom, with the Incineroar, with the Urshifu. He has the Booster Energy Raging Bolt and Ogerpon Hearthflame. And in all fairness, it kind of looks like Patrick Connor's NAIC team, just with the wrong Calyrex.
Yeah, and maybe we dropped the Pelipper for Ogerpon Hearthflame. Yes, it's a very strong balance core.
But technically, there is still rain in this battle.
Yeah, I mean, we're not giving up on rain so easily.
We're not giving up just yet here. But also looking at some of the team sheets, I mean, it does look like standard sets on all of these. Ogerpon having Grassy Glide with Ivy Cudgel to partner with the Rillaboom, and Rillaboom also having Grassy Glide. Calyrex being Life Orb, though, we've seen Spell Tag, we've seen Covert Cloak. We have not seen Life Orb. We've even seen Citrus Berry.
Right. So I think Life Orb is really aiming to amp up the damage potential for this Calyrex. And it's going to be really interesting to see what Austin and Carrie lock into.
It really is. And even on Austin's side, with that Archaludon, it's Terra Bug.
Right. I think trying to protect itself from Pokemon like Iron Hands with that low kick.
That is a possibility there, because then it's not only not very effective, it gets the stamina boost on top of it.
Right. It's going to be really interesting to see if Carrie's team, with so many grass types, can handle this Archaludon. We'll have to see if Calyrex Shadow is going to be the one who can carry through this match.
Well, we'll see if that happens, but we're going to get into game number 1 here of round 5. One of these trainers is going to make cut after this round with 5-1. Carrie leading off with Urshifu, Rapid Strike, and Raging Bolt versus a familiar sight on stream this time, and Chien-Pao and Dragonite.
Yeah, I'm wondering if all the Chien-Pao players were like, we're just going to use Dragonite today. This is just very interesting.
It's a possibility that they all decided on that, but it's a very effective strategy because inner focus Dragonite, you don't worry about Intimidate, you don't worry about Fake Out.
Yeah, really nice to see that back after so long.
It really is. So now we're seeing whether or not Carrie will have an advantageous position here, because we do see that Austin has Kyogre in the back. He would suddenly make Urshifu Surging Strikes go really big in damage.
Right, and I think also the smart thing that Austin is doing is not terastallizing that Dragonite, keeping it resisting all of Urshifu's attacks.
And we see a double up into the Raging Bolt, ends up knocking out the Raging Bolt right off the bat. And Urshifu going for the Surging Strikes into Chien-Pao. This might be close based on the damage output here. It's got 57 to 5. No, it barely survives. But it's now in range of an Aqua Jet potentially.
Right. We'll have to see what Austin does. Could this be a Sucker Punch Extreme Speed? Oh, but we see Ogerpon smart to bring that redirection.
It is, but we have seen, though, that Extreme Speed on the Dragonite, if it's Terra Normal, it can knock out an Ogerpon in one shot, as we saw with Riley Wilcox and Joven Teixeira.
Right. It's going to be interesting to see if the training on these Pokemon has any bearing on that calculation.
It really will. And also now with the Extreme Speed being the Choice Banded locked move, now you have Ogerpon going for Spiky Shield here, potentially trying to get an Ice Spinner or a Sacred Sword from Austin, but instead it's at Extreme Speed into the Urshifu and a Sucker Punch, but Urshifu survives by the skin of its teeth and gets that Aqua Jet and knocks out Chien-Pao.
Right. Yeah, so it's looking like a very good position for Austin still. Still having three of his Pokemon in comparison. Well, Carrie has 3 of his Pokemon, but that Urshifu is not long for this world.
It is not long for this world, but more importantly, Ogerpon is on the side of Carrie D'Ortona here, and Ogerpon could, in theory, terastallize into a pure Fire type, but that would actually make it weak to this Urshifu Rapid Strike, who is also carrying the Choice Scarf, so it is faster than Ogerpon.
Oh, and Carrie did not even bring us Restricted to this match.
Wow.
It's a Rillaboom.
He brings Rillaboom instead. No Calyrex Shadow Rider. That is very interesting.
So Extreme Speed goes into Rillaboom, doing almost half.
And Surging Strikes comes out, which gets 3 guaranteed critical hits into this Rillaboom. It really comes down to what Carrie's Urshifu decided to go for here. It might be a close combat into Urshifu itself on Austin's side here. And that is the move of choice. And it does big damage into Urshifu, but again, on Austin's side, it is Choice Scarf. It has to switch out, or it will go down to a Grassy Glide.
Yeah, it's going to be interesting because Rillaboom could either go for a Fake Out or could go for Grassy Glide, but I think Extreme Speed will go first. It's higher in the priority bracket.
It is higher in the priority bracket here. but it just remains to be seen what happens because Urshifu will go down to that Grassy Glide, and we see Kyogre is in the back. The Terra Normal Dragonite is still helping, or just Dragonite in general. We see the Fake Out come out and Extreme Speed into Urshifu, which knocks out Urshifu, and Carry is down to his last 2 Pokemon, which is that Ogerpon Hearth Flame and this Rillaboom at low HP.
Right. The interesting thing to note for Carry is that his Terastallization is still available, and with the Grassy Glide, with the grassy terrain up, Grassy Glide will be able to become a priority attack.
It will be, and also we have to remember that Ogerpon has the Terra, which allows its Embody aspect to come out and give it a +1 to its attack, while also boosting the power of Ivy Cudgel on top of that. So even though Dragonite is a resisted Pokemon, this could do big damage.
Right, when there's a chance to crit, there's always a way.
And we see the Extreme Speed come out into the Rillaboom. It knocks out the Rillaboom. So now it just remains, what did the Ogerpon go for? Did it go for Grassy Glide? It did not. It's just the Surging Strikes into the Ogerpon, which is now super effective. And Ogerpon will go down to the Surging Strikes. And Austin Latovsky gets game 1 against Carry Daytona.
Yeah, just really well played by Austin. I'm really interested to see how Carry will make adjustments. That was just very commanding by Austin.
Austin played it absolutely incredible, just locking into Extreme Speed. Did not even use his Terastallization in this battle too.
I think the really interesting thing about this match is that we didn't see Restricted actually on the field for both trainers.
No, we didn't. We know that Austin had Kyogre in the back there, but he didn't bring it. That is very interesting for Carry to not bring Calyrex Shadow Rider even as a threat.
Yeah, I'm curious to know why. We'll have to see how, if Carry does make that adjustment.
It will be interesting to see what happens here, but also with Carry on that side of things, you have to also keep in mind that if Calyrex doesn't Terastallize, it's 4 times weak to Sucker Punch. If it does Terastallize, it's now getting hit by those Extreme Speeds, and yes, Sucker Punch will still hurt, but it's also weak to Sacred Sword.
Yeah, I'm really excited to see the applications of Terra Normal. I mean, I think that Austin's doing a really good job in against the Calyrex Shadow teams, because of the fact that, you have to survive Sucker Punch. That's the great thing about Chien-Pao. Sucker Punch always will be a good way to deal with the Calyrex Shadow, and unfortunately it doesn't look like, apart from Ogerpon and maybe some Intimidate drops, it doesn't look like there's a good way for Carry to deal with Chien-Pao.
There honestly isn't. I mean, again, Calyrex could do something here, but the real question is what?
Yeah, it's just going to have to be seen.
We're going to get into game number 2 here. You did say Incineroar could make an appearance here, as it does make an appearance and gets that Intimidate off into the Chien-Pao, but not the Dragonite.
Yeah, Inner focuses.
Wait a minute. That Dragonite just got intimidated.
Oh my.
That Dragonite just got intimidated.
Did it?
Yeah, it got intimidated.
Oh, that's very interesting.
Yeah, that's going to be something to note here. That it got intimidated. So now Dragonite is in a bit of a predicament here because it's neutral instead of that +1 with the Choice Band.
Yeah, I'm unsure about what happened here exactly. Maybe it was a team sheet error or something, but regardless, not having Inner Focus is very influential for this matchup. So we see Outrage and whiffs into the Protect.
It's amazing how Outrage has not been favorable to Dragonites today.
And Knockoff knocks off that Choice Band, meaning Extreme Speed will not be as threatening as before. Now, I'm really interested to see how this Kyogre is trained. Is it going to be faster than Urshifu, or is it going to be more on the bulky side? That is going to be the thing that might decide how this game will pan out.
And also, it's important to note that this Kyogre is carrying the Mystic Water, which boosts the power of these Water-type moves by 20%. So, Water Spout is a good move, but if Urshifu attacks, then suddenly you're hitting with, almost like a pool noodle.
Right, and we see the Raging Bolt come out, hoping to maybe get in position to click Thunderclap into that Kyogre on the subsequent turns.
And we see Close Combat come out into the Kyogre to try to lower the power of these Water Spouts. More importantly, that defense drops happen on the Urshifu here, and Kyogre goes for the Origin Pulse, and it avoids the Urshifu, which is unfortunate, but that still does major damage into the Raging Bolt. But the Outrage comes out again and brings Urshifu just above red HP, but because of that Choice Band being knocked off, it doesn't have access to the Focus Sash.
Yeah, and that Intimidate might have negated that -1 special defense and defense, letting Urshifu survive a little bit longer.
But now what's important to note here is that if Kyogre stayed out on the field, it would be weak to that Thunderclap from Raging Bolt. However, Dragonite can go for an Outrage again. It'll still affect the Raging Bolt if it's faster.
Right, and it's going to be interesting to see how this Raging Bolt is trained. And Raging Bolt is faster, going for a booster special attack Thunderbolt into Dragonite.
And there's the Outrage. It's super effective in a Raging Bolt, and it will knock it out. So Raging Bolt goes down. The priority of Thunderclap is down. That is massive for Austin.
Right, yeah, and Urshifu doesn't look like it's going to be around much longer. We see another Intimidate go off into Dragonite and Urshifu, and now knowing that the Dragonite is multi-scale instead of Inner Focus means that Austin could go for the Fake Out.
He very well could go for the Fake Out here. He also does have the priority Fake Out pressure to stall out one of Austin's Pokemon here. Right. But the real question is, which one do you go for?
Yeah, it's definitely an interesting predicament for Carrie.
It really is, just trying to figure out where the pieces are to the puzzle, because you just lost your Raging Bolt, but we do see the Fake Out come out. A Surging Strikes comes into the Urshifu. It lived on one after the first critical hit.
Yeah, it's crazy.
The invisible Focus Sash. The choice scarf had a Focus Sash hidden inside it in case of emergency.
Right, now it's going to be interesting to see what this Dragonite locked into. Is it still in Outrage?
It was still an Outrage. That was the third turn of Outrage. So after this, Dragonite will be confused for this turn. I believe there are still 2 Pokemon left in the back on Austin's side. So Dragonite could switch out now, reset those attack drops that it got via the Intimidate drops, but more importantly, bring Kyogre in.
Very smart adaptation by Carrie, identifying that Dragonite could only go for Outrage. Very smartly played.
And we do see Calyrex makes an appearance, so honestly, it's making me think, did Carrie plan this out?
Yeah, it's going to be interesting to see what if Calyrex goes for that Terra Normal. We see Austin thinking about his choice into Calyrex.
And we see a Protect come out from the Calyrex here just to figure out what Austin tries to do here. Ice Spitter comes out into the Calyrex. It does no damage by virtue of the Protect, but Dragonite is confused. Will it break through? I believe it's a 33% chance to break through. It does break through. It gets the Outrage. This is -2 with a Sword of Ruin. A critical hit with the Rocky Helmet damage, and a Flare Blitz in the rain will do big damage to Chen Pao. Another critical hit. Incineroar goes down, though.
Yeah, this is just looking very unfortunate. That critical hit really just changed the course of the game.
And the rain stopped there, but now Carrie's in a very interesting position. He has access to that Terra Normal to turn off the Sucker Punch quad weakness, but Dragonite still has access to Extreme Speed and the Terra Normal, so if Austin goes for the Terra Normal here, Calyrex can't attack the Dragonite without using Psychic.
I'm just really curious as to why Austin didn't decide to reposition, getting that -2 attack, those drops out. We'll have to see.
I'm actually surprised at that too, but we do see a Protect come out on the side of Chen Pao here. What did this Calyrex go for? It went Astral Barrage.
Oh, yeah.
Doing big damage to the Dragonite. Dragonite is locked into Outrage as well, so it could not go Terra Normal. So Dragonite goes down. Another critical hit!
Oh, I just realized being locked into Outrage means you cannot switch out. So that is why, ladies and gentlemen, that Dragonite stayed on the field. And now this is looking like Carry D Ortona's game.
It is looking that way, but again, it used Outrage onto Incineroar, so it could have switched out beforehand.
Right, yeah.
So now it remains to be seen what happens here because Carry has that Calyrex here. The Sucker Punch comes out. It's big damage into Calyrex, but this is an Astral Barrage at +1. I don't know if Kyogre could potentially live this. It does not.
Absolutely not.
It will not, and Carry the Ortona forces Game 3.
Yeah, very well played by Carry after what seemed to be a very unfortunate critical hit. That Life Orb paying off dividends.
It really did there. And again, we have a Game 3, 5 rounds, Game 3s. This is why Florida is the best.
Oh, absolutely. This is just very exciting. Very happy that we get a strong 3-game set for trainers, but especially this one. Carry is just so fun to watch play.
He really is. I'm just still trying to figure out, though, here, Adit. We looked at the Dragonite, like, not having inner focus here. That puts Austin at a major disadvantage.
Right. Seems like our trainers are getting set up again.
Yeah, I mean, like, it was very interesting to see that Intimidate go off into the Dragonite. We're just so I mean, maybe some of us are still accustomed to Regulation H where it was multi-scale because, I mean, yes, Incineroars were around, but multi-scale was better.
Yeah, it's definitely interesting to see that this is a multi-scale Dragonite.
It really is interesting to see that back again in Regulation G, but I kind of understand it because if you get an Icy Wind off into the Dragonite, like from, say, a Flutter Mane, then instead of it being 4 times super effective for that first hit, it's 2 times super effective.
Right, you're taking 50% from an Icy Wind. That's not what you want to happen when you are up against these Icy Wind Flutter Manes. So we'll have to see if not having inner focus will turn the tide of this match. I think the Incineroar bring from Carry, very smart. It's normal to be hesitant to bring Incineroar into these, very strong water types. I'm curious to see if Austin will make the adjustment and maybe bring something like Archaludon.
I would actually be interesting to see Archaludon because it does have access to that all-important Electro Shot, which is a 2-turn attack, but with Kyogre's Rain, it's a Meteor Beam with a Solar Beam, without the charge.
I know, when talking about game design, when you said Calyrex Shadow Rider is a healthy Pokemon, that's how I felt about Archaludon. I still feel the same way about Archaludon.
I very much enjoy my staple remover. I very much enjoy my staple remover. I actually wrote on my staple remover at home. I wrote on it Archaludon.
Got it, yeah.
Oh my, it worked. So, and then I had my dad look at me and he was like, what is this on here? And I'm like, that's a Pokemon. He's like, that's a what? I was like, yeah, there's a Pokemon based on a staple remover. And he was like, what is the world coming to?
I know.
I was like, even better, it's a very good Pokemon. And it is.
It really is. Archaludon is one of the more interesting choices from the Kitakami region.
Actually, no, it was Indigo Academy.
Indigo Academy.
Or Blueberry Academy. Academy. Indigo Disc, Blueberry Academy. Potato.
Right, so... Oh, okay. We'll see what's going on. But Austin is thinking very carefully about his moves. Oh, okay. We'll see.
I mean, it's very interesting to see what Austin will do here, what Carry does here, because if the Dragonite comes and it gets intimidated again, then Dragonite's, really at a disadvantage here. It doesn't want to take those Intimidates.
Right, and I think now that the confirmation that it is multi-scale means that Austin Carry is more likely to bring that Incineroar
to this game 3. You are absolutely right here. I mean, Carry could even just bring the Calyrex here, maybe just click the Astro Barrages left and right, left, right, hook, center.
Yeah, this is just a really... It's going to be a very exciting game 3, and it looks like both of them are just really happy to be here. We love to see the friendship. We love to see the excitement at this Oviedo Cup.
And we see Raging Bolt and Urshifu once again a lead for Carry, but we do see Kyogre as a lead, and Amoonguss. Amoonguss is here!
Amoonguss is finally showing its face at this cup. Very a staple of VGC.
I believe it's been very suspicious that, you know, we have an imposter among us.
Oh yes, it's surprising we have an imposter indeed, considering that there's no Ditto on the field. But it's looking like Amoonguss is going to be very crucial in keeping this Kyogre healthy.
I believe you are correct here, because Raging Bolt did get its booster energy off here, and we do see that Raging Bolt has access to Draco Meteor, but it really doesn't have anything else for the Kyogre, especially if it terastallizes into a grass type.
Yeah, and we see the terastallization from, I believe, Austin. So that is a Kyogre turning Terra Grass. We love to see the normally blue Kyogre, well, pink here, turned into a verdant green.
It really wants to be Rayquaza.
Yes, and we see Surging Strikes go into Kyogre, dealing good amounts of damage thanks to the rain and
the critical hits.
Yes.
But let's see what Raging Bolt went for. We see an Ice Beam go into Urshifu, actually. Very interesting. But more importantly, breaks the Focus Sash, and the Draco Meteor comes out. Kyogre is down!
Yes, Kyogre is down, and that is the restricted Gone from Austin. Very smart targeting from Carry. Very interesting that...
and we see a Sludge Bomb come out into Urshifu, actually. And Urshifu does survive, but does not get poisoned.
Yeah, I think... I'm curious to hear if Austin was thinking that it was a Rillaboom or Ogerpon switch in. So it felt like kind of a, I wouldn't say a wasted turn, but just unfortunate that he overread.
It's definitely a possibility, but we now have to figure out what Carry wants to go for here, because Archaludon's on the field. Urshifu could, in theory, go for something like a close combat into that Archaludon, but if Amoonguss goes for Rage Powder, it redirects that close combat, and Archaludon gets a free attack into whatever it wants.
Yeah, we see the switch out from Carry's side. That Raging Bolt is going to be switched out into Rillaboom.
Oh, the Rillaboom has made an appearance here and activates the grassy terrain, which is helpful for the Urshifu to get a little bit of recovery here.
Right,
but we see a Surging Strikes into Amoonguss, actually, and it gets the Rocky Helmet damage. I wonder if that was deliberate by Carry. By going after the Amoonguss, get a little bit of damage on there, but you sack your Urshifu off, and Archaludon has to use its attack into your Rillaboom, which is carrying the Assault Vest.
Right, I think that was just very, very smart by Carry. Urshifu has done its job. It has already chipped that Kyogre, putting it in range for that Draco Meteor. Very smart to realize that Urshifu is not going to be impactful for the rest of the game. And we see that Grass Resist, that Spore, just completely whiffing into Rillaboom thanks to being a Grass type. So Carry is in a really good position here.
And we do see Calyrex make an appearance here. So Calyrex has shown its horse. It's riding into this battle, and now you're in a bit of an interesting situation here, because this Archaludon is +1 on its special attack stat. Now, I don't know how much damage it could do to Calyrex here at +1, but we do see a Fake Out come out on the Rillaboom in Archaludon, which will make Archaludon flinch, but activates the stamina.
And we see the Psychic go into Amoonguss.
Life Orb Psychic knocks out Amoonguss.
And now that Grim Neigh boost is going to be so important in breaking through this Archaludon, even through its Assault Vest. The combination of Life Orb and the +1 special attack, this is going to just be so unfortunate if Austin cannot figure out a way to break this Calyrex.
It really will be, because we see Urshifu Rapid Strike is the Pokemon in the bag, and Austin has used this Terastallization so Urshifu can Terastallize into a Grass type and turn off its weakness to the Grassy Glides from Rillaboom.
Yeah, and we see Carrie switch out the Calyrex, probably trying to preserve it for later, into that Raging Volt. Thanks to being a Dragon type, it is not going to be taking as much damage by this Raging Volt.
We do see the critical hits coming out on the Surging Strikes. It does opt to lock in to Surging Strikes here, but that also shows that Rillaboom did not go for the Grassy Glide. It's opting for a Wood Hammer into this Urshifu, and it is going to do big damage with the grassy terrain, a one-hit knockout.
Yeah, it's just looking like it's going to be Calyrex and Raging Bolt against this Archaludon. Austin putting himself in a very good position.
And we see the Draco Meteor comes out, knocks out the Raging Bolt, but also lowers Archaludon's special attack by 2 stages. So now, instead of it being +1 on its special attack, it's now -1.
Yeah, this is going to give Calyrex some important chances to set up nasty plots and really just make this end game much more difficult.
And we do see the Unnerve activate once again with 1 turn left of rain. So there's 1 chance left to get a special attack boost here.
Yeah, this is just looking very dire for Austin.
And we see the Astral Barrage come out here. This is single target with the Life Orb into Archaludon. Well over 50%. Gets the stamina boost here with the Life Orb damage. Now, the Wood Hammer is actually going to go first here and does good damage through the Quad Resist on a critical hit.
Yeah, it's looking like Rillaboom is just very angry at being subject to all those stamina boosts.
It appears that way, but we do see the Electro Shot come out here. It will go into that Calyrex slot here. And how much damage will it do?
Yeah.
Not enough to get the knockout there for Austin.
Right, and now it's just looking like another Astral Barrage will knock out this Archaludon.
It appears that way, and with that would mean that Kerry D'Artona has advanced to the top cut of the League Cup here at Versus Games, Adit, with a 5-0 record, and he still has 1 game left. He could go 6-0.
Right, yeah. No, that's great. I think this is truly, it's natural. I think Kerry could win it all today. We'll have to see.
I mean, it's very possible that he could. I mean, he played this set absolutely flawless. He didn't bring us restricted in the first game. And we're thinking, what is this all about? He got into our minds just like he got into Austin's.
Yeah, I think that was just really well played by Kerry. We can see why he's consistently top cutting these events that he's gone to, cementing himself not only as one of Florida's best, but North America's best.
He really has been. He has been on an absolute rampage here. I mean, credits to Austin with what he did. The Kyogre was doing good, respectable damage. I mean, it just wasn't enough. It honestly just wasn't enough at the end.
Right, yeah. I think just the matchup, it's really interesting to see. I think maybe Dragonite, if Dragonite had Inner Focus, maybe it would have been able to win in a Game 3. So,
I mean, it's possible that it could have. We'll never know.
Yeah, we'll never know. And
we will never know. But congratulations to Kerry D'Artona for advancing the top cut.
Yeah, I'm really excited to see how Kerry will do in top cut. Very exciting.
I'm looking forward to seeing it. But ladies and gentlemen, we're going to take a short break. We will be back with our final round of Swiss after this, and then we will go into our top 8 cut.